Hey everyone, welcome to another Battle Tanks League commentary video. I'm a little bit late into this. I was AFK and just caught this game starting in time. Looks like we have some aggression going against Alrion already. Alrion does survive. He is able to survive by getting behind his creeps. Let's check out what the players have. Alrion is obviously in a scout, and he has two basic magics. That is an interesting opener for Scout, and he will likely change his tank rapidly to something else. I don't know why you get two basic magics over an electro cannon. The electro cannon has 50 more range and it takes one less inventory slot, so that is an interesting decision by Alrion so far, and not one that I necessarily agree with, but let's see how he fares. He is accompanied by Hokuto. The last game I commentated, he and Hokuto worked together and they dominated in the middle. It looks like they're already getting pressed right now. Hokuto is in an anti-grav with a basic magic. He has a tech mech, which is why he hasn't upgraded his basic magic already. And then alongside them is Tanker, who got a distributor and a multi-bow. That may be a lot of why this bottom team, the Dark Force, is pushing them, because Alrion's tank cannon can't hit tanks, and neither can Tanker's weapon. And they're already pushing them. Anime Bro is commenting that they're already pushing their command post at 1 minute, and yeah, that is pretty atypical. I am not sure why Tanker went a multi-bow, except perhaps to be competitive in his farming with Alrion. And Hokuto, but Hokuto himself didn't upgrade his basic magic immediately, so he and Tanker started out with the same DPS. So facing up against them is TheClumsyOne and a Raider with a basic magic that he has already upgraded, erntspieler and erntspieler. I'm going to botch that pronunciation a lot. Erntspieler in a medivac with a basic magic that he's also upgraded, and Gudgeon in a light tank with a fireball cannon. And he has already upgraded that fireball cannon himself. He'll save for a whole, try to get that at the 5 minute mark, maybe a little bit after. Meanwhile, on the top, we have EMZE and a distributor with a basic magic upgrade. He is facing Incognito, who is in a light tank, opening with two basic magics. Incognito in that light tank does get a DPS advantage over EMZE and that distributor. So let's see if Incognito is able to push EMZE. EMZE does have some slightly better abilities in that distributor, however. Meanwhile, on the bottom, we have Jor, who is in an anti-grav with a basic magic, and he is facing ShadowStorm, who is in a distributor with a basic magic. Jor is the better player of those two, so we should expect Jor to push ShadowStorm to his tower and try to have that tower steal kills from ShadowStorm. So far their level difference is pretty insignificant. It's pretty within margin of error of gameplay. Sometimes one player will get a bit luckier last hitting creeps, and that can cause a small level advantage. But if Jor is able to push his creep waves into ShadowStorm's tower for that Light Force tower to get the kills, instead of ShadowStorm, you just saw that tower get a kill on a Marine, then Jor will get a bigger level advantage over ShadowStorm as this play progresses. And now what's going to happen in this middle here? Alrion probably needs to change tank quickly. He has already upgraded one basic magic. Again, I don't know why he went that over an electro cannon, but let's see how it works out. He needs to change tank perhaps to a helicopter or a medivac quickly, be able to be a bit more aggressive against these enemy tanks, which are very aggressively pushing this light force position here. And it looks like Incognito also got a kill as well against EMZE. And so Incognito has now upgraded both of his basic magics. Dark Force getting another kill. TheClumsyOne nearly getting another kill on Tanker as well. Tanker cannot deal any damage back to him with that multi-bow, and he's got to be careful. TheClumsyOne gets another kill with the static charge. You can see he already has that static charge level 2, so he saved up a level at level 3, and he is not even speccing the shape memory alloy yet. He is playing extremely aggressively, just trying to heal up using this strategic location, and you can see he's almost getting a kill on Hokuto. Had that super thrust hit, Hokuto would have died. So Alrion needs to get a tank quickly. Tanker needs to get another weapon quickly. He has a basic magic now in addition to that multi-bow. He upgraded the multi-bow even. I don't know why you do that. Multi-bow seems like a weapon that you get just the multi-bow for some supplemental creep farming, and then you sell it as soon as you can for a real weapon. But the fact that he put additional gold into that multi-bow, stealing even more gold from his allies. Gudgeon gets a kill on Alrion. This Light Force is dying a lot. And Incognito is also pushing on EMZE, so if Incognito can maintain that position, he'll exacerbate his level lead over EMZE. He is already a full level ahead at level 5, which is a pretty insane advantage already. It is now 5 minutes into the game. It's a little bit longer than 5 minutes, so let's see. Roll feed a little bit. Is he referring to Pikabar, Anime Bro? I hope not. I want to see Pikabar face up against Anime Bro. I want to see Anime Bro, yeah, face Pikabar one time. Eat some humble pie. I do play some pub games with him. Sometimes he performs pretty well for a pub player. Anyways, it has been 5 minutes into the game. Gudgeon has his hole. He stepped a little bit out of position there, and he does die trying to get a kill on Tanker, but he was 1.5 on 3. Erntspieler was a little bit low health, and he was a little bit too greedy there. Dies. Erntspieler has a second basic magic. Alrion has a hole, so he's going to stick with this scout for a while, trying to outfarm Tanker, I guess. He's a little bit vulnerable right now. TheClumsyOne getting a static charge on him. Alrion using that strategic location and his regenerative armor, whatever the E ability is called on the scout, to heal up most of the way, and he's going to be able to get to a safe spot. Hokuto jumps out of the way over this metal mine. He does have that static charge on him, so he can take about 300 damage from TheClumsyOne at any point right now. He does have a lot of hit points. TheClumsyOne's got to be careful himself. He doesn't want to step too far forward. And ShadowStorm has the second basic magic. Jor does not have a second weapon yet. ShadowStorm is pushing on him, trying to clear out those creeps with the heat-seeking missiles. Jor's going to have to jump out of the way. And he can at this point sell his basic magic and get an electro cannon and a tech mech, and he can use that tech mech to quickly buy back that basic magic. So he does now have equal weapons to ShadowStorm, and he'll be able to get superior weapons soon. EMZE pushing Incognito, using some heat-seeking missiles, not able to quite finish him off. Incognito, of course, does have that hole, so he has a little bit more hit points than EMZE does. They have equal DPS. EMZE does have the better abilities, but they're on cooldown right now, so let's see if Incognito can press EMZE right now. EMZE is playing a bit carefully. He's in a position where he can pretty quickly retreat to the command post, and he does. Hokuto with a second basic magic. Tanker needs to sell that bow and get a second basic magic as well. And then TheClumsyOne with a second basic, Erntspieler with a second basic, and Gudgeon with that hole, as I mentioned. The Light Force is playing outside of their own command post now, so they've pretty much weathered the initial wave of aggression. Tanker still does need to get a better weapon. Jor's got to be a little bit careful. He's a little bit vulnerable, and ShadowStorm gets a heat-seeking missile off on him. Jor has already bought back that basic magic, and now he's going to keep his tech mech with him to try to repair himself, and he's going to try to be aggressive against ShadowStorm. You can see he does have that 1050 range over the 1000 range, so he's able to get an electro volley off before ShadowStorm can get any of his 3 basic magics off. Jor does have a slight advantage in DPS, and some of that DPS is at longer range. ShadowStorm is a little bit exposed right now, so is Jor. ShadowStorm retreats to the command post, and Jor's going to heal up with that tech mech a little bit more slowly. Incognito saving up for a third weapon, though he might try to get a quick heavy tank. Especially if this Dark Force is pushing the Light Force's command post here in the middle. TheClumsyOne heals up from Hokuto's initial barrage against him. He's unable to pursue Hokuto completely for the kill. Hokuto's going to jump in aggressively and use his EMP charge. Everybody's too far away for it to leave them vulnerable. And now they're going to go after Alrion. The Super Thrust hits. Super Thrust also hits Hokuto. They do get the kill on Hokuto. Erntspieler and Erntspieler and Gudgeon teaming up for that. And then Erntspieler healing up his allies for 660 health using that Medivac ability. And Alrion might be saving up for an early tank. Hokuto has his third weapon. Tinker might be getting another weapon. Perhaps an electro cannon or a fireball. And looks like Jor's been able to heal up completely using his tech mech, so well done by him, not needing to go back to his own command post. Or maybe he went back to his own command post and I completely missed it, but that tech mech does allow you to maintain a bit more of an aggressive position, and you can see he is trying to get a level advantage over ShadowStorm, about half a level ahead right now. Incognito almost a full level ahead of EMZE. He does have 1 kill on EMZE, which helps exacerbate that lead. EMZE is trying to play in this position right now, going after Incognito. Incognito, if he has a triple rocket, he could have finished him off. EMZE is trying to play it this side to draw the creeps further this way. I think that way he can get more kills on the creeps versus this rocket tower here. Aggression going on in the middle, trying to deal damage to Hokuto. Hokuto is going to stay back. He has the static charge on him. TheClumsyOne himself is a little bit vulnerable, so he can't easily get a static charge off. They do kill Alrion. Hokuto's static charge expires, takes a super thrust, so they're going to have to sit in their command post. And Incognito might need to get a quick heavy tank here. Help them out. He is the highest level of anybody in the game, so he can get to level 10, and nope, he bought a weapon, so he's not going to get a heavy tank super quickly. And now he's a little bit vulnerable to EMZE, though he does have a lot of creeps around him to absorb damage. He's going to escape. And meanwhile, the Stark Force is pushing their creep wave into the enemy's towers. TheClumsyOne getting a static charge off on Tinker. Tinker uses his reactive armor to heal, and then the Hokuto tries to kill TheClumsyOne with an EMP charge and the Q ability. Doesn't quite work, and Hokuto dies instead. Alrion comes in with a storm tank, pretty interesting considering only Erntspieler and TheClumsyOne are air tanks, only 2 air tanks, but they are pretty desperate to ward off their aggression right now. Maybe they don't consider Gudgeon the most pressing of threats as well. Jor and ShadowStorm kill each other. Actually, ShadowStorm didn't get that kill, he only got the assist, so that does give Jor a little bit more gold and experience. And hopefully this storm tank allows them to not play at their own command posts so urgently, especially considering neither Alrion nor ShadowStorm are really in position to help out. Or Incognito, I mean. ShadowStorm's a bit busy with Jor, who's a very good player. Mine's going to go off on Gudgeon and Erntspieler, and Erntspieler does die. Gudgeon with the second fireball cannon. He needs to upgrade his iron hull first, probably. He's a little bit vulnerable with only 2,000 hit points. TheClumsyOne does have a hull himself. Perhaps he has a basic magic he can buy back. Nope, not yet. And Erntspieler getting pulled. Gudgeon is a little bit vulnerable as well. He's going to have to flee. They're not going to get any kills out of this exchange, especially when Tinker uses the reactive armor on the static charge, healing 430 instead of taking that in damage. Pretty interesting of the TheClumsyOne to spec static charge instead of the reactive armor. Usually in the middle that's kind of hard to do because it's hard to get consistent static charges on somebody without making yourself vulnerable, unlike in a lane where you can do it consistently. They're going to run into Alrion's mine soon. They do. Hits both Gudgeon and Erntspieler, and Hokuto's going to use the EMP, but then he misses the follow-up Q, and then Erntspieler uses his splash damage to kill Alrion. They do get a kill on the TheClumsyOne at least in return. 1-to-1 trade right there. Jor continuing to put pressure on ShadowStorm's tower. You can see he's about 2/3 of a level ahead, but his tech mech is going to take a lot of damage right now. He might have to flee. Uses the static charge. He's going to use the Q ability. They're both going to kill each other. Meanwhile, EMZE pushing Hokuto a little bit. Or Incognito. Incognito does have a modest amount of gold saved up, a little bit more than EMZE does. EMZE at level 9 will be able to get level 3 reactive armor, and he'll be able to heal 2 instances of damage. Let's see if he can deal enough damage to Incognito. Right now, barely not enough. Incognito survives with about 150 hit points, and EMZE has to get back as well. Gudgeon, does he have an upgraded hull? Not yet. He does need to be careful. He's already saving up for a tank. If I were him, I'd probably upgrade his hull. Can TheClumsyOne get a kill on Tanker? He does. I was expecting him to use his static charge, but he just killed him naturally with weapons. Alrion buying back his own weapons and hull right now. If I were Gudgeon, I'd probably upgrade that hull. It will set you back 625 towards saving for a tank, but you'll be so much more useful in fights that you'll easily make up that gold. Not to mention that you're not feeding the opponent. So maybe he's trying to get a quick heavy tank. Quick heavy tank is usually around 15 minutes, so it's a little bit too late for it to be considered quick. Though we cancel his hull and his tank combined for about 1,000, and one of these for maybe 1,800. You could get a no weapons heavy tank, but that's not useful when you're not level 10. Let's see what he ends up getting. Looks like George just got another kill on ShadowStorm. It was a close fight. EMZE with a 4th weapon. And another kill. Missed that, I guess. He does have the level 2 reactive armor, most likely at this point. TheClumsyOne's a little bit out of position. Alrion's tank cannon, air cannon, does deal extra damage and range. Jor is level 10 now, so he can use the phase out ability on ShadowStorm, which temporarily removes him from combat. He cannot use abilities or fire, but he cannot be, he is also invulnerable. And so it's a very potent ability. It also does a little bit of their current hit points and damage. Jor's going to try to use it on Incognito right now, phasing out Incognito so that he and EMZE can clear out Incognito's creeps, and then he's going to use the EMP to stun Incognito one more time. EMZE follows up with a bunch of heat-seeking missiles, and they do get a team kill right there. Or not a team kill, a gank kill. Kill as a team. And that, like I said, you just saw that phase out ability. It's very powerful because even though it doesn't deal that much damage to the enemy tank, and even though it makes it invulnerable, it does give you some time to deal damage to creeps, clear them out, and then you can do an additional stun with the EMP torpedoes. So you can clear out creeps. You have 2 stuns as the anti-grav that are powerful, which can give your allies time to gank them. And so ShadowStorm will likely need to play pretty defensive right now. And so will Incognito, knowing that Jor at any point can teleport in and get a gank kill. Incognito is going to be pushed by EMZE. They both don't pursue that all the way. And Hokuto isn't really saving up that much gold. He does have a kinetic shield right now. It's on cooldown. Alrion gets a couple of mines off. Can they get the kill on Alrion? TheClumsyOne does get the kill with the static charge. And he uses his burst armor to tank that energy torpedo from Tanker. I was expecting him to die there, and probably so was Tanker. Jor gets another kill on ShadowStorm in another close fight. Gudgeon has a lot of gold saved up. TheClumsyOne doesn't really have anything saved up, neither does EMZE. He does have a kinetic shield, and he has a detector, probably to see Alrion's mines. Wonder if he was trying to plant that detector right there. And then Tanker doesn't have anything saved up, and Hokuto has a small amount saved up. Alrion, of course, already tanked, so he could get something like an early Frost Robot if he felt that his Storm Tank wasn't useful anymore. He could even change to a Hunter if he felt that that would be better for his team's situation. And he'll take a loss of 2,000 gold, of course, but sometimes that is the best move. Alrion hooking EMZE, and Hokuto's going to try to stun him again. He's going to use the kinetic shield. Let's see if he can survive. He already used his jump. He uses his Q ability. He's going to take a super thrust and die. And Alrion's going to get the mine off on TheClumsyOne and Gudgeon. Gudgeon's one volley away from dying. He's going to be able to escape. 1 kill for the Dark Force there. Jor has quite a significant lead over ShadowStorm now. A 1.2 level advantage. ShadowStorm is still not even level 10. erntspieler gets hooked. Somebody's going to use a kinetic shield. It's TheClumsyOne, so they have 2 kinetic shields on this south team here. Gudgeon continuing to save. He has a lot of gold at 20 minutes. 5,600, so he can get a good tank right now. erntspieler are going to get a super thrust, and it looks like Alrion misclicked, leashed the creep instead of erntspieler. Probably would have died in that case. Hokuto does have the R ability. They're going to get a kill on Gudgeon, probably on the TheClumsyOne as well if Alrion doesn't die. Alrion does die, but the Clumsy does die as well. EMZE and Incognito kill each other on the top. A lot of people dying right now. 21 kills for the Dark Force right now. 16 kills for the Light Force. Tanker getting 1 more kill on erntspieler. erntspieler doesn't have the burst armor, and Incognito is going to get a tank right now. I wonder if he's going to try to get an earth tank. Selling his he gets the goblin tank. I forget he does that a lot. So EMZE is quite vulnerable right now. Incognito can come in and use his hammer ability on EMZE. It does deal quite a lot of damage, and it's very well telegraphed, so he can counter it with his reflective armor. Let's see what the speed difference is right here. Incognito does have more speed, and he is sped up right now. Can EMZE time his reactive armor correctly? He does. Heals the 2,000 damage instead of taking it, and now Incognito is going to die. Very well timed by EMZE right there. So Incognito needs to get a teleporter quickly, and then he can teleport into the middle, he can teleport onto the sides. This Dark Force is going to need to start putting teleport breakers on, otherwise Incognito will get gank kills in fights. Alrion trying to kill Jor. Jor is a little bit slow in getting that tank right there. And now there's a mine as well, so let's see if that... looks like Jor didn't have enough gold to get the tank he wanted, and Alrion has a mine here. So I wonder if they're going to try to hold this position and deny Jor his tank. erntspieler and TheClumsyOne are going to try to ward them off. Hokuto does plant a teleport breaker, and erntspieler takes the mine right now. Alrion's going to die, likely. Incognito's coming in with a strong hammer. He does get 1 kill with his ultimate ability, but actually this Dark Force is getting more kills out of this exchange than the North Force is. Do keep in mind that Hokuto has the teleport breaker here, so Jor does have to be careful. He has bought his weapons back. ShadowStorm's trying to press him a little bit. TheClumsyOne's going to teleport in. Jor is going to have to teleport out of the way, and ShadowStorm now is vulnerable. Jor, don't get too close. You don't want to give him that free kill. Jor does survive, though they're going to go after him right now. Alrion speeding up. Incognito's coming in. Can Alrion leash himself to him? Jor's just a couple of weapon shots away from dying. Alrion does get the kill. He himself was a little bit vulnerable if anybody wants to teleport in, but Alrion does have his allies nearby, and he can fly. So Alrion gets a free kill right there. And I wonder if Hokuto is going to plant a second teleport breaker at this thing. No, he doesn't have one on him. Jor is going to walk. I wonder if they can get to him in time. Is Alrion going to teleport in? And Alrion is pretty fast. Jor just needs to not teleport. And he's going to get the demon tank. Alrion misses with the mine. Jor doesn't have any weapons. His demon tank is a pretty good counter to Alrion, who himself is a little bit vulnerable. I didn't see those 3 Dark Force players coming in, and I guess neither did Alrion nor Hokuto. So this South team, the Dark Force, gets 2 more kills. And this Dark Force middle really is dominating the matchup so far. And even despite Alrion getting that Storm tank, they're continuing to feed and to get kills. Gudgeon's a little bit vulnerable. He gets a kinetic shield from the TheClumsyOne so that he can go out of the way. And they are going to back up. He did himself use his E ability to heal. EMZE and ShadowStorm are going to face against each other. ShadowStorm does have the more valuable inventory. EMZE has a significant amount of gold more saved up. 5,600 compared to only 1,400 for ShadowStorm, which, considering that ShadowStorm only has the repair kit on his inventory in addition to what EMZE has, And in fact, EMZE actually has more DPS. Maybe he has an additional basic magic or the extra tank cannon. So EMZE should win in that matchup. As soon as he gets a tank, it's going to be very hard for ShadowStorm to counter with a similar value tank. Tanker is starting to save up gold now. It's 25 minutes, so they got to start getting tanks. Hokuto has a little bit more gold saved up. Alrion's getting more weapons. He's getting a siege pack, so he can start killing towers and such. And then meanwhile, TheClumsyOne doesn't have that much gold saved up. ERNTspieler has about 6,000, so he can get a good tank soon. They use a kinetic shield. Jor's going to hop in with his lava shot, dealing about half of Tanker's damage. TheClumsyOne comes in with a hit and run. He does cancel it. And Hokuto's going to jump out of the way of the Hell Implosion, which doesn't quite reach Tanker, so that everybody's going to survive. Gudgeon comes in with a Frost Robot at 25 minutes. For a no-weapons Frost Robot, that's still very, very fast. And this Light Force is going to have to be very careful. And yeah, that's pretty impressive. As long as Gudgeon, maybe he can be excused for farming up a little bit right now, so that he can get his weapons back. But that's probably a good choice for Gudgeon to get, so he won't steal too many creeps away from his opponents. Let's see if Hokuto can get the tunneling ability spec before he dies. He does. Gudgeon won't take too many creeps away, but he'll still be useful in fights. So, good choice of tank for him. And good for him that he was able to reach that at 25 minutes. Very impressive. He doesn't even have the most kills on that mid. ERNTspieler's the one getting fed. Goblin Tank and Demon Tank are pretty similarly matched. They have similar abilities. Demon Tank is a little bit more versatile because its abilities can hit air units, and it does very well against air units. But the hammer doesn't miss. But the Demon Tank Lava Shot can be hit from long range. So Demon Tank is still obviously a bit of a better tank. That's why it costs 3,000 more. But in terms of abilities, they function pretty similarly. Alrion's going to come and actually this bottom tower is gone, so they've got to be careful about defending it. Jor can hop in, and he's very formidable for them to try to assault. He has so many hit points and the banish ability against Alrion. And Alrion is preemptively trying to flee away from that. Incognito's got to be careful. He tried to deal a lot of damage to this tower, and now he's going to take a lava shot to guarantee that he dies. Gudgeon and Hokuto dealing damage to each other. Gudgeon's freezing waves do miss though, so he's going to have to go back and heal up. ERNTspieler and TheClumsyOne still happily saving up for a tank, and they're pretty safe right now. Hokuto's Earthquake can't deal any damage to them. And while Hokuto himself is unlikely to die even if he gets frozen right now because he does have that tunneling, he can't deal any significant damage to anybody except Gudgeon, who has like 14,000 base hit points. Looks like ShadowStorm and Hokuto are going to try to team up and kill this command post, and they do get it in time. Nobody was in position to defend it. Wow. And all of a sudden, Alrion has a position from which to siege the opponent's base. He is not as good as a ghost tank as doing it because he can get netted, and he cannot augment his creeps' hit points like the ghost tank can. But in terms of raw combat, he's a little bit better, so he'll play kind of as a hybrid ghost tank, maybe kill these towers, maybe kill a couple of towers if they let him. He does have to be very careful of Jor, though, but he still can be decent in fights using mines and using the leash and his ultimate ability, whatever it's called. See, he's actually going after Jor right now. Does Jor have his abilities? He can banish Alrion and use the lava shot on him right now. Jor still has some weapons, but Alrion gets a banish, and then Gudgeon gets healed 1600, and then Jor misses the lava shot. This was a botched. That was a botched kill on Alrion. That should have been really easy, but ShadowStorm with a well-timed reactive armor, and then Jor with a missed lava shot. And yeah, everybody in chat kind of taunting Jor for that. ERNTspieler with a Goblin Brawler. So I've seen Black Bull get this. I'm seeing now ERNTspieler get this. So I'm curious to see how he fares with it. ShadowStorm can outrun because he has the Brawler R on him. I do like playing Goblin Brawler as a tank myself. Tanker gets a Demon Tank. I was going to say Jor finally hit a Q. That's Tanker. Gudgeon himself is quite a bit tanky, but Incognito is going to teleport in. Now they need to start getting breakers. And they should all get back right now before they do die, and an explosive brew finish us off. Incognito. Hokuto is going to tunnel out of the way. I am curious to see how erntspieler, who is a pretty good player, plays this Goblin Brawler, because I do like playing it a lot, and even though I get pretty good kill-death ratios on it, I find myself losing a lot of games with it. And it's not just that I'm getting last kills, I'm doing very, very well in fights, saving my allies, making opponents get out of position, getting assists on kills, making good trades. And yet my team loses. Jor does finally hit that Hell Implosion. He's able to clear out, the Lava Shot, he's able to clear out Alrion's creeps with the Hell Implosion and get the last couple of shots on Alrion to kill him. Looks like TheClumsyOne's going to get a tank. It's going to be a Goblin Wrecker. So we have a Wrecker, a Brawler, and a Frost Robot on the Dark Force. These tanks do synergize very, very well. ShadowStorm comes in with a Hunter, so he's going to move into the middle. I'll comment on how these tanks synergize in a second. erntspieler hitting the ShadowStorm with the R and then trying to hit him with the W to make him deal damage with the R. He leaves himself a little bit vulnerable, but EMZE is going to come in with a Demon Tank. So we've got 2 Demon Tanks right now, and they're going to team up to get a kill. They Gudgeon also contributed to that, trying to hit the Ice Prison. And then TheClumsyOne's going to hook ShadowStorm, guarantee that he dies. So we've got 2 Demon Tanks on the side that can gank at any minute, and this is quite a formidable set of tanks. Goblin Wrecker, Frost Robot, Goblin Brawler, and 2 Demon Tanks. That's going to be very, very tough for this Light Force to deal with. And just in the middle alone, not considering how the Demon Tanks can come in and gank, Alrion is trapped with the Goblin Brawler R, so he's pretty much guaranteed to die. You can have the Goblin Wrecker hook somebody, and then Gudgeon freeze him, and then the Goblin Brawler put the R ability on him, and he's going to take a ton of damage. In addition, additionally, he will take the bombs from the Wrecker, he'll take the freezing waves, and he can take an explosive brew. So if anybody gets hooked by the TheClumsyOne, they're pretty much guaranteed to die. The only one who might be able to save himself is Hokuto or Incognito if they have a teleporter, but even then they might not, because they'll take a second stun. They can take additional stuns from the Demon Tanks, I'll get to them in a second, and they'll take a ton of damage and additional damage by teleporting away with the Goblin Brawler R on them. Meanwhile, these Demon Tanks are excellent at ganking, because they can come in, they can teleport onto people, they can stun them with the Lava Shot, they can come in and deal area damage with the Hell Implosion, and they can also use the Banish ability on Alrion. And so this is a very, very tough combination of tanks, almost an ideal combination of tanks. If you wanted to plan Battle Tanks League team and say pick 5 tanks for the mid game that you want to synergize really well, these 5 tanks would be among your top considerations. erntspieler misses the W and traps himself among some trees. He might die to Alrion right now. Actually, the South team kind of made a misplay right there, allowed themselves to get killed by Incognito and now ShadowStorm. So all 3 of them die, and then Jor misses another Q. So even if you have the best combination of tanks in the game, you do need to actually hit your abilities and not play out of position. They also should put some teleport breakers in to counter Incognito. Even if it saves one of them at one point, it's more than paid for itself. Jor's got to get back before he takes the Hell Implosion. The TheClumsyOne pulls Tanker into the Jor. Tanker's going to die himself, and then Incognito gets a hammer on the Goblin Brawler. erntspieler is a little bit too tanky. He does take a gravity grenade, and now EMZE is going to come in with his own Demon Tank. Hokuto's going to tunnel out of the way before he takes the Hell Implosion damage. And so meanwhile, if you're this North team, what do you do? So it looks like Alrion's going to play a lane. He's going to try to deal damage to the towers. And then you do have Tanker with a Demon Tank. You have Hokuto with an Earth Robot. You have ShadowStorm with a Hunter, and Incognito with a Goblin Tank. So the people that can instigate fights are Tanker if he hits his Q, Incognito if he's not hit by a teleport breaker and not playing on a lane, which he usually is going to be able to do. EMZE and Jor team up to kill Alrion. Incognito is hanging around, but that's far too dangerous for him to jump into. Incognito can jump into fights and stun people, but he can get countered by teleport breakers. He's probably a better candidate to hop into the middle of fights or just gank on the lane. Tanker can stun people with the Lava Shot, And then as long as ShadowStorm can follow through with the Acid Cloud and the Gravity Grenade from the Hunter, then they can get kills on people and deal damage with the Gravity Grenade, the main gun, the Hell Implosion, and the Earthquake. But overall, this Dark Force does have a stronger combination of abilities. And Alrion is so vulnerable to both of these demon tanks, and just in general, with only 5,000 hit points and no repair, that he is definitely more useful just playing Siege. TheClumsyOne and EMZE both miss their abilities, and EMZE's a little bit vulnerable right now. He does have a lot of hit points, but that ShadowStorm Hunter is dealing damage. He's going to force ShadowStorm to go back with the Explosive Brew, and now ShadowStorm himself is vulnerable. He's going to die to Gudgeon. Gudgeon himself is going to survive. Is anybody in position? Incognito is going to teleport in, and he's going to get the kill on Gudgeon. EMZE trying to get the kill on that tech mech. He does use his abilities to deal further damage to this rocket tower here. That's probably going to go down soon. And I wonder when people are going to start putting teleport breakers for Incognito. Hokuto with a nice weapon already. Gudgeon has bought back his weapons and has bought a speed. He has a lot of gold saved up as well. Nobody on the Dark Force has a teleporter yet, it appears. And Alrion is earning a lot of gold by killing these towers. Playing a little bit out of position. Can anybody catch him? TheClumsyOne is quite slow. EMZE is fast, but Alrion's going to hang out of the way. Even if he gets lava shotted here, nobody can reach him with the Hell Implosion. Everybody's chasing him. We've got 4 people distracted by Alrion. Excellent hits with an excellent lava shot right there. I was going to say, if this middle team can start pushing this command post while everybody's distracted with Alrion right now, that's the play. And nobody is an air tank on this Dark Force. Nobody can reach Alrion. So he is just sitting here trolling. Takes another lava shot. He's one instance of anything away from dying. Jor's going to finally kill him off. Though he did distract his that Dark Force for a long time. And yeah, Alrion is complaining nobody is pushing anything. I did make that comment. They should have pushed the middle or something. And now it's this Dark Force that's pushing. They do get the build. Incognito teleports in. He's going to force EMZE back, and they're going to force Gudgeon back as well if they don't kill him. They do get a kill on Incognito, so it's a 1-to-1 trade, but with a tower. And Gudgeon does die. And now Jor's a little bit vulnerable. He's going to be able to get out of the way. EMZE probably has shields for him if he expects the level 1 shields. Jor does miss another Q unless he was hitting the tower. I don't remember what I just saw 5 seconds ago sometimes. Missed hook by TheClumsyOne. Would have been a guaranteed kill. Stun from the trap. Stun from the Frost Robot. Stun from the Demon Tank. Tons of damage meanwhile. Can't teleport out of the way with Brawler R on you. EMZE with a light fantastic. Gudgeon's a little bit vulnerable, takes a stun, taking an acid cloud. He's not going to survive that. Has to use his freezing waves just kind of futilely. And did Alrion just get netted? Excellent by Jor. Incognito is going to kill Jor, however. Incognito has poison magic. TheClumsyOne is going to pull EMZE out of that fight. Jor does have the net launcher, so he's very, very dangerous to Alrion. Takes a couple of mines, so he's going to have to back up and heal. Incognito is dangerous if he can teleport into people, but all 5 of these tanks are very, very tanky. I think the least health they have is that Goblin Wrecker with 9,500 hit points, and so Incognito is likely, even with that poison magic, likely going to have to catch somebody either so wildly out of position that he can spend like 10 seconds finishing them off, or he's going to have to team up with a teammate. TheClumsyOne misses another hook. He hasn't been hitting those that well. If he gets gravity grenaded, he might die. He gets a kinetic shield to save him. He's going to survive. erntspieler has to jump out of the way. And yeah, the Light Force is going to survive that exchange. I wonder if Alrion got a kill on Jor right there. I guess he did. Not what you'd expect, but good for Alrion then. Alrion still is quite vulnerable. He does have the advantage of being that only air tank in the game, so he can be a lot more mobile. Oh, it looks like he used a teleport breaker and maybe some mines to kill Jor. The fact that he's the only air tank in the game makes it hard for people like the TheClumsyOne to reach him, and I wonder if he's gonna like spawn his troops on this tower right here, or maybe even this middle tower. He's gonna try to get the kill. Yeah, he directs his troops to this middle tower, going to start dealing some damage. He gets netted by Jor, and he is going to pay for that with his... No! He has the teleporter, so he gets away with that. And he distracts all 5 of the Dark Force once again. Everybody takes a gravity grenade and an acid cloud, and the Light Force gets 3 kills. So the Light Force is doing a lot better than I would expect him to, and now let's see if they can teleport into Incognito. Gudgeon tries to use his abilities to ward him off. They've got Tanker here, it's a 2v2, Incognito does get Gudgeon down, Jor does get a build, so it's 1 tank and a build, now 2 tanks. Incognito, does he have his teleporter? Yeah, he can get out of the way, he's got to do it before he takes an R. And yeah, everybody's going to get back at this point. erntspieler leveling up that W quite a bit. Let's see if they can finish off ShadowStorm. They barely do. And then EMZE barely survives the lava shot from Tanker, but erntspieler is not going to survive. Tanker gets a Hell Implosion on Jor, who teleports out of the way with like 500 hit points. TheClumsyOne misses another hook. He has not been hitting those. And Alrion has almost taken out this middle tower right now. Incognito teleports in again. He's got to get out of the way if anybody has a lava shot. Yeah, Incognito's going to die. Gudgeon hits him with the Prison of Ice. And does Alrion have more troops in him? He does. They're going to take this command post. They do get a build. A laser tower. They're really committing to this. ShadowStorm does have his gravity grenade. He's saving it for when people teleport in. I think he at least got the acid cloud off. Alrion still doing damage. Hokuto, Tanker, TheClumsyOne, and erntspieler, the only ones left. Oh wait, EMZE's in here as well. They do get Alrion. Only 2 to go, but Incognito is now back. And ShadowStorm is going to get a gravity grenade, and yeah, they're going to take this middle command post. That is really impressive, considering the tanks they're going up against. And yeah, they're teleporting in 1 by 1 and just dying. Gudgeon gets the last kill. Last 3 kills, actually. And actually, they do hold this. And that's going to cost Alrion 2,000. They did get enough kills out of that I think the Light Force is still pretty well off. And Gudgeon with Gudgeon making that play, that Frost Robot that he saved up for. And then it looks like erntspieler took this command post in the top with his own laser tower. So the Light Force holds in that exchange. Wonder if they're going to try to kill this laser tower. That laser tower is very expensive, and it's low health right now, so they can get some bounty out of it. Can Alrion spawn his troops? 5 seconds away. They do get the kill on the tower. Incognito does, and he teleports out of the way. Does Alrion have his teleporter in him? No. He does die, but they do get the kill on the laser tower. TheClumsyOne, for how good he was performing earlier, he really doesn't have any gold anymore, and he doesn't even have speed. It's 44 minutes into the game, and he hasn't been hitting his hooks either. It's been kind of ineffective right now. Gudgeon with a Psycho Magic, so a very, very powerful weapon on that Frost Robot. I think I prefer the Frost Magic to the Psycho Magic because you can get it so much earlier. And Frost Magic upgrade is basically a Psycho Magic unupgraded. Jor does take a Teleport Breaker, but nobody's around to capitalize on it. TheClumsyOne misses most of his bombs that they do end up hitting. Incognito is trying to get the kill on Jor, but he passes the TheClumsyOne, who is probably an easier kill, and he dies instead. So now the Dark Force is back in business with some donations, and they're going to push this bottom command post, maybe even this north bottom command post. They're going to hook Alrion. Let's see if they can kill this tower that Alrion built. Probably going to have to go back. And Gudgeon's going to die. Alrion does spawn on top of people and spawn some troops trying to block them. He does die, but he stalls them enough that the TheClumsyOne dies as well. I'm not sure if that's quite worth the trade. And then Tanker trying to get a kill on Jor. EMZE does miss the R, but they get the kill on Tanker anyway. And then ShadowStorm is a little bit late to the party. Jor with a greedy teleport. Let's see if he can get out of the way there. Takes a main gun from ShadowStorm and survives. Alrion comes in and finishes him off. And then Incognito also killed EMZE. Very kill-heavy game, so I'm gonna expect some very powerful tanks happening at around 55 minutes or an hour. Everybody should be farming up a lot of gold right now. Incognito with two powerful weapons. They both can be countered very effectively with a, what's it called, deflective armor. Flamer a bit less so though, especially once it's upgraded. Wonder what weapons the others have. Alrion countered pretty well by deflective armor, but he has no meaningful DPS anyway. Do get a kill on EMZE. Yeah, deflective armor might be the thing to invest in. 444, it doesn't do much against Hokuto though. Gudgeon needs a teleport. It's like Alrion built a tower randomly right here. Maybe he was trying to swing a fight. TheClumsyOne's a little bit vulnerable. TheClumsyOne doesn't have a teleporter and he might die to Alrion. Alrion spawning troops. He's able to get the kill. Gudgeon does get one kill meanwhile, and they're gonna... Is this their command post? It is. They're going to hold that middle, keep them from pressing it. They might get another kill on Alrion. They do. 2 demon tanks. That is 2 tanks you don't want to face against when you're a storm tank. Incognito does have his teleport in him, so he can play pretty aggressively. I know Incognito also likes to play siege the base. Hokuto builds a barricade in here. Let's see if ShadowStorm can catch multiple people in a gravity grenade. He's a little bit late with it. He also needs an orbital strike to go off. He's going to die instead. 2 more kills for the Dark Force. And they're ahead 68 to 47. Tanker and EMZE hitting each other with the lava shot. EMZE doesn't have a teleporter. Alrion spawns troops on him. Alrion's got to get back. Alrion finishes him off with the troops. Well done. Incognito upgrading his DPS even further. Almost 1900 DPS right now. ShadowStorm is going to hit Gudgeon with a few abilities. Gudgeon barely survives, 400 hit points. Alrion gets hooked. He does have a teleporter, so he can get out, and then Jor runs into the breaker, so he's not going to be able to pursue Tanker like he wanted to. Actually, he might, because Tanker lingered a little bit too long to get his own lava shot off, and he rendered himself vulnerable. Incognito comes in with a lot of DPS, gets 2 kills. He's going to die to erntspieler. And then Alrion is going to get a kill on the TheClumsyOne. Gudgeon teleports in. Does he have his abilities off cooldown? He would really like a teleporter right now. He's going to get slowed down by mine, so he's not going to pursue this kill. And then Hokuto nearly gets the kill on erntspieler, who counters with a kinetic shield. He's going to have to get out of the way there. And then Gudgeon's going to die. TheClumsyOne with the frost magic. You don't see that often on a goblin wrecker. Usually you want to play short range as wrecker. You assume that you're hooking people into your close traps. I think I've maybe only seen TheClumsyOne actually hit 1 or 2 hooks. Alrion does die. He gets a build, so he's going to lose 600 gold. He's going to give 661 plus another 300 gold. And then the Light Force is trying to push this command post right now. They do have EMZE and erntspieler defending. Can he get the kill on Hokuto? Remember, Alrion does have this teleport breaker here. So Incognito is going to die before he can get any more kills. And they're continuing to earn a lot of gold. And then Jor's not going to be able to take this command post either. So actually, he did give some gold back to the Light Force. Wonder if Alrion can change tank soon. It seems like his strategy of sieging with the storm tank hasn't really been working. Gudgeon really needs a teleporter. He could have gotten out of that situation. Even though he is a frost robot, he is far too vulnerable without a teleporter. Alrion using the teleport breaker to catch Jor. He's in a pickle right now, though. Tries to get a build to distract the enemy team, and he gets netted anyways. So he's going to die, and he's going to lose another tower. No wonder how much gold Alrion has if he can feasibly change tank, even to just a frost robot right now, or if he can get a Goliath soon. He doesn't have much gold. He has a gold hole, but he can only sell that for 2,500 when it comes to buying a new tank. So he's stuck with that storm for a while, it looks like. Tanker and EMZE pretty similarly matched. I do think this Dark Force can get deflective armor against these plasma waves, the fire arrows, the frost or the poison magic. Gudgeon once again is vulnerable, and so is Jor. Jor is going to die. Gudgeon might die as well. Tinker is missed by the lava shot, but hit by erntspieler's R. Erntspieler dies before he can really do anything. Incognito has a ton of DPS from that flamer upgrade and poison upgrade. Well done by the Light Force there, getting 3 kills out of that exchange. And Alrion at this point has spent so much gold on teleport breakers and towers that he's just losing gold. Does Gudgeon have 2 Psycho Magics already? That's impressive. He needs a teleporter though. He's still too vulnerable. Jor, does he have a teleport in him? He does. And erntspieler doesn't. ShadowStorm catches 2 people in the gravity grenade. Well played. They're not going to quite pursue the kill. Gudgeon does have a ton of DPS, so he can ward off. Incognito takes too much damage before he can pursue EMZE right there. EMZE does have 1 teleport breaker. As long as he plays near that, he is pretty safe from Incognito. I wonder if anybody's saving up significant amounts of gold. They all have pretty valuable tanks, so they're going to maybe hang on to them a little bit longer than people normally would with like heavy tank. EMZE has a small amount of gold. Tanker, only a little bit of gold. ShadowStorm doesn't need a tank yet. Hokuto has a lot of gold. Alrion has some gold. Hokuto is definitely going to get a Titan soon. And they do hold off this attack very well. 3 kills to 1. EMZE, I already commented, he doesn't have gold. Gudgeon doesn't have gold. He should get a teleporter before he does anything else. And then let's see about the other 3. Hokuto is pretty imminently going to get a Titan, though. Yeah, with 16,000 gold. TheClumsyOne doesn't have gold. erntspieler doesn't have gold, so. And what about Jor? Jor has a small amount of gold, so at the 60-minute mark, they do get 1 Titan out of Hokuto, and it's going to be a fully weaponed Titan. 1200 DPS, a little bit less. 900 DPS. Incognito getting the stun on Jor, who's followed up by Tanker. Jor had no chance there. And then ShadowStorm catches 2 people in the gravity grenade. And then did Tanker teleport in there with the Hell Implosion? He did. Another 3-to-1 exchange for the Light Force here. And then Alrion's taking a control point, building another laser tower, really spending a lot of gold. Can he get help from his allies? His allies are trying to push this north command post. And then looks like Gudgeon took 1 at the bottom. He's going to try to come in at the top. He does have a lot of DPS. TheClumsyOne misses a hook. They're going to hold this command post. So a 1-to-1 trade. Alrion taking this one. That's probably a trade that he likes because this is a better spot to siege the base, and he has 2 towers that he can kill for pretty much free right now. EMZE and erntspieler team up to get the kill on Incognito. And Alrion is meanwhile sieging the base. So Gudgeon just died at the top. And Hokuto is now 1 minute away from getting the Titan. In fact, he could probably get some armor upgrades and the fully weaponed up Titan as well. Or he could get a Reaper right now. Imagine that, troll. And it is now time for Hokuto to get his tank. Let's see what armor upgrade they have. Only 12 right now. Dark Force hasn't gotten any upgrades yet either. With 19,000 gold, you gotta give your guy a Titan right now. Start pushing command posts. Still no armor upgrades out of this light force here. Incognito getting a kill, but then running into the lava shot from Jor. Jor can counter both of these tanks pretty effectively, but Alrion wards him off with a spawn of troops. And actually, Jor's a little bit vulnerable. Can he get the kill, Alrion? Almost. It looks like ShadowStorm got a kill. ShadowStorm doesn't have a teleporter, so EMZE's going to get 2 kills out of that. Hokuto still with no Titan. 20,000 gold, come on. Heck, Hokuto could get all the armor upgrades and get the Titan as well himself. He wouldn't have very many weapons on it, but Incognito getting a solo kill on EMZE. And yeah, Hokuto's had 20,000 for a little bit now, and maybe he gets the Swarm of Chaos. Alrion's still pushing the space. He's starting to eat through these towers. Takes an excellently aimed lava shot from EMZE and a second one from Jor. 2 lava shots that were well aimed right there. And Incognito is going to teleport out of the way of Gudgeon's Prison of Ice. And that is a good point. How much gold does ShadowStorm have? He can do all the upgrades right now and give Hokuto the Titan. Still no armor upgrades. I don't know what Hokuto is doing, except maybe getting the supercell, like, but I don't know. First Infernal coming out from EMZE. Excellent hook right there from TheClumsyOne. And yeah, where's Hokuto's tank and Alrion's tank? It's pretty much time now, because EMZE does have that Infernal Robot, and he has a Light Fantastic on the Infernal Robot as well. And now Jor's going to come in, kill ShadowStorm. Hokuto himself is a little bit vulnerable. 21,000 gold doesn't save you. He's going to tunnel out of the way, but he still can be pursued. Gudgeon with those 2 Psycho Magics. Finally got a Siege pack. Can start buying those fireball cannons back. And they're trying to take this command post here, ERNTspieler and the TheClumsyOne, and only Fake teleports in to defend. So they do conquer the control point. They're only 2 away. Did Gudgeon really get the upgrades? MVP, man. Freaking tanky Frost Robot. Oh, that's why he doesn't have his Fireball Cannons. That's why he got the upgrades. Or because he got the upgrades. Still getting kills right now. ShadowStorm hooks 4 people with the... Four people with the Gravity Grenade. And Hokuto, what is the plan here? Because there's still no armor upgrades, and it's almost 105. Alrion himself has 14,000. Wonder if Hokuto's finally going to get his tank. They have armor upgrade 13. ShadowStorm comes in. Gudgeon's going to teleport in, and so is Incognito. And for Hokuto and ShadowStorm to only get Goliaths, that's interesting, but maybe he'll get a Reaper. So is that 3 Goliaths? That is interesting. Alrion could get a 4th Goliath right now. I wonder if they're going to all get Goliaths and just try to end the game with a big push right now. Because 3 Goliaths, I've never seen that. I don't know if that's the best. Oh no, TheClumsyOne finally gets a hook and it's on EMZE. Erntspieler can get the Titan. He's probably waiting for some armor upgrades. Maybe they didn't happen in time, or maybe he was planning on getting the Infernal. So we've got 2 Infernals versus 3 Goliaths right now. Tanker is a little bit weak. Erntspieler is going to build just defensively, and Hokuto has to teleport out of the way. Hokuto really needs a weapon right now. He only got a 2nd lightning magic. And Gudgeon might get the kill on Hokuto nearly. Alrion, meanwhile, still sieging this base. He's almost gotten 1 factory down. But you still wonder why the 3 Goliaths, unless they want to push immediately. EMZE can't teleport out of the way because he sold his teleporter, evidently. He takes a Devastator shot and dies. It's like Alrion just killed 2 factories, or almost 2. And they're going to try to take this command post here, ShadowStorm building. Is anybody going to respond? They're a little bit busy in the middle as well from a push. TheClumsyOne's the only one there. Dodges 1 Devastator shot, and Erntspieler is going to come in. They're probably going to hold this. ShadowStorm is still dealing damage right now. He's able to get a kill on the TheClumsyOne before dying. And then Jor with a Tinker. Do they have armor upgrade 20? Come on, get him his tank, guys. Got 2 Infernals, get yourself a Titan. Don't make Jor stuck as a Tinker yet again. Alrion finally does get the kill on the 2nd factory. I wonder if he has a siege pack in addition to that advanced troop command. Nope, just the advanced troops. Jor with only the electro cannon. Yeah, I feel like Hokuto should have gotten a Titan there. Especially since you already had 2 people that were getting a Goliath. I mean, a Goliath with an extra lightning magic upgrade is a third Goliath that has an extra lightning magic upgrade on it, not nearly as valuable as the Titan with the lightning magic. So a real big blunder from the Light Force there. Gudgeon with another kill. Let's see if he can deal any significant damage. He does have all these weapons, 2200. His teleporter is off cooldown, so he's got to be careful. He does flee out of the way. And let's see if they push this here. Jor takes a couple of Devastator shots. He does heal up a little bit. He might have to get out of the way there. They're not going to be able to finish this push, even with EMZE coming in. With a lot of DPS of his own. Alrion takes the command post at the top. Alrion with a Frozen Tempest, another very mobile tank, so we can continue sieging. And I wonder if he's going to build right now, if he gets, he's not going to get a teleporter, or teleport beacon. Nobody's there to really help him out. Hokuto is nearby, but 1v3, Alrion immediately goes to this bottom here, so they're trying a multi-pronged attack, and indeed Incognito is trying to take this command post as well. Jor is able to get the build off in time. But Jor has to get out of the way, and Incognito is going to kill EMZE, and now he's going to start working on this command post here. They do have this one held, so they can teleport into Incognito. Incognito teleports out before taking the orbital strike, and then ShadowStorm has to get out. Taking damage from erntspieler. He doesn't have a teleporter because he was that hunter. And let's see how well Alrion can do hitting these towers and making the other factories vulnerable. He already took 3 down. Gudgeon's going to get the kill on ShadowStorm. But he does have Hokuto against him. Hokuto does have a lot of DPS. Gudgeon's got to be careful. At any point a Devastator shot can come out and finish him off. It looks like this Dark Force is going to mount an offensive. Incognito is a little ways away, and Tanker is also out of position, so they're down 2 people, and that's going to be a free command post for the Dark Force. So now it's 3-3. And while the Light Force does have probably a worse tank combination, they do have 3 factories killed. Gudgeon getting a kill. They've got to respond to this, capture the command post. They can't leave it 5v2 or 4v2. I think the Dark Force is going to take this command post. Nobody's there. And also, if you're the Dark Force, start building maybe a factory or 2 in this bottom here. Start getting some of the gold made up for what you're losing by having your factories gone. EMZE misses Tanker with that Q and only hits erntspieler. They do get the command point anyway because erntspieler has to, or because Tanker has to stay out of the way. And Alrion has, meanwhile, taken out both of these towers right now, so he can get a 4th, 5th factory out. We've got all 5 people mounting an offensive here, so this is going to be a 5-on-3. Hokuto's in the base, and Alrion is still respawning. So if you're ShadowStorm and Incognito, just probably hold at this command post. You don't want to lose all 6. And here comes the last command post. Alrion, ShadowStorm, Incognito are there. They do get 1 kill. So they are going to hold. They didn't want to lose that last one. 4 factories down. I guess losing all 6 of your command posts when the enemy has only 2 factories is less impactful. Incognito with another Titan. Had to sell his weapons to get it though, but he'll be able to buy some of them back. He can sell that power pack and that radar of course, and he has some gold from selling his goblin tank. So Ernstspieler and Jor trying to take this command post. They get an assist from the TheClumsyOne, pulling out somebody for now. And right now, it's just Ernstspieler left along with a build from Jor, so he is going to die. Gudgeon has a lot of gold saved up right now, so he'll be able to get his own tank not too far from now, maybe at a minute 20 or an hour 20. And he's got to come in and help his team out with all the DPS he has. Finally arrives. And let's see if they can kill Incognito. Gudgeon gets another kill. And Alrion is no match for Gudgeon in terms of raw firepower. Alrion does have a bomb. This is interesting. It is 4-on-2 at this command post here. They've got to make it 4-on-3 quickly. I wonder if Alrion's going to plant the bomb. He does. It's going to deal a lot of damage to Ernstspieler, but to nobody else. Might get an assist on Ernstspieler for it. Yep. But you've still got EMZE and Gudgeon here, and the TheClumsyOne. So Incognito teleports in just in time. EMZE runs into a breaker from Alrion. TheClumsyOne's going to pull ShadowStorm into him. And the TheClumsyOne might die right now. And they can maybe take this command post. He plants an obelisk. They're going to get Jor soon and Ernstspieler soon. Jor hit with the obelisk. Ernstspieler's going to hit with the obelisk, but it's too much. They're going to go back. Alrion's going to continue trying to siege this base. Did very little damage with that ability right there, and Gudgeon's there to persuade him not to come. He can start dealing siege to this section of towers right here though. This is the key tower to take away because that unlocks that factory. Assault going on this top base here. Only the TheClumsyOne and Jor are present. Ernstspieler's a long ways away. Gudgeon does come in to help out. ShadowStorm still doesn't have a teleporter. Okay, Alrion's trying to distract everybody. I wonder if he's going to spend more gold on a build here. He does. His teleporter's on cooldown, so he is a little bit vulnerable. He gets netted. Trying to plant a bomb, is he? Will he kill Gudgeon? Does Gudgeon know that that bomb is going off? Does it even matter? Gudgeon teleports out of the way. So Alrion just wasted a bunch of gold on buildings and 3,200, 3,250, or is it 3,750 on that bomb? I forget where you buy the bomb. 3,250. And now they might lose this last command post here. Actually, they'll hold. They do get a kill on Jor even. Gudgeon has his ultimate pack. Interesting choice there. He has a power pack as well, so he's going to stick with this Frost Robot for a while. Alrion with almost 0 DPS. He does have his troops that can help. And they deal actually impactful damage in a straight up fight. Less so now that it's so late into the game. Alrion spending more gold to build. Trying to distract his team. You see 3 people teleport onto that, and none of them really have any DPS, so that's actually a very good play by Alrion. He's completely occupying erntspieler and forcing him to buy a mortar team, and then in the meantime, Incognito planted an obelisk, and so now they're taking this top command post. erntspieler finally teleports in, he uses his R, and actually they're going to hold this. Gudgeon dealing a lot of damage right there. So they do hold, and Gudgeon with a greedy teleport hits a breaker. This is a wise move by Jor right here. You don't want this wave of creeps pushing all the way to your protective towers if you can help it, and so Jor can get gold from the creep waves that are coming in. erntspieler does have a laser tower here. That's an expensive item, less so at a minute 20 because everybody's getting a lot more gold now, but they can try to kill this laser tower, and then the next push they try to take the command post. Tinker's still trying to deal damage to it however possible. We've got ShadowStorm building a random barricade here, and that does give them the time to clear out this laser tower and build camouflage and an obelisk, so erntspieler is going to die. Jor takes an excellent, whatchamacallit, orbital strike, and then the Devastator rockets finish a couple of people off. Then Gudgeon gets the last kill again. See if Gudgeon can take out this tower right here. He's got to be careful, he doesn't have a teleporter. See if EMZE can build a teleport beacon right now. Get maybe the TheClumsyOne here. Jor walks in. He's going to plant an obelisk. They're going to kill Tanker. And they do take that last command post. So 5 factories down, but all command posts secured. Build a couple of factories in your base, and maybe even outside of your base a little bit, and start pushing the enemy base. And yeah, we have no factories versus no command posts. They can... 4,500 gold isn't that much at this point to build a factory, especially when you can build it so safely with all of the command posts secured. So, build a couple of factories, play defensive, don't lose command posts. Incognito coming in, trying to plant an obelisk. Everybody walks in, so they're not stunned. Got the Goliaths, who are all low manus. Let's see if they have enough for the Devastator shots. Incognito's going to die. EMZE uses the Q on a few people. ShadowStorm still with no teleporter, and Gudgeon's going to kill him. Alrion plants a bomb. He only kills himself. And so we've got 3 people down. Let's start dealing some damage to this base here, and we can end this game. Gudgeon with a lot of gold saved up. Wonder if he'll get another big weapon like a frost laser, or if he'll just get a tank. Hokuto with a lot of gold. He's got to sell a weapon and get a supercell. He'd even sell a couple of things and get a frost laser. Yeah, no use saving up 22,000 gold. He could have gotten a Titan earlier. He could have gotten a Titan at 1 hour, even 55 minutes if his teammates had saved up, but now his team has lost all command posts and they're stuck with 3 Goliaths. erntspieler does a lot of damage as the Infernal. They're going to ward off this attack If they have another jump in them, they can catch them fleeing. Does EMZE have his Q? Gudgeon gets 1 kill. He's going to flee. Alrion builds something. Alrion still with only 400 DPS. Tanker's got to get a weapon as well. That is pretty amusing. Gudgeon still has the 2 most powerful weapons. Nobody's gotten any real big boy weapons. Tinker and Hokuto have a chance now. Hokuto comes out with the supercell. Now he can finally kill Gudgeon. Still has to teleport out of the way, and he might die to erntspieler. And then Tinker needs to get a weapon himself. He could, a little bit risky to make your way into the middle, but he could sell a couple of weapons and get his own supercell definitely. ShadowStorm building a teleport beacon right here. Alrion's going to try to build something quick, but he gets stuck by the breaker. So does Incognito. This is unfortunate, and EMZE has the time to get the build off. erntspieler's going to come in. Jor's going to come in. And it looks like they're going to hold. Gudgeon does take a couple of Devastator shots and teleports out of the way. And these guys don't have their own teleporters now, so they do lose a life. And a second life. ShadowStorm still with no teleporter apparently. And he tried to build a tower to save himself. Just lost a tower now. Gudgeon does have the most kills out of anybody. Pretty impressive game by him. Is he finally going to die? Wait, was that even Gudgeon? I guess that was EMZE. Gudgeon with a supercell of his own. So he's going to ride that Frost Robot all the way out to the rest of the game. As long as he can use his teleport judiciously and survive, he can be very useful in fights with how much DPS he has. They've got to respond to this attack. I don't know if they can see. They've got 4 people here. Gudgeon buys back his second Psycho Magic, so he has 3,500 DPS. He's just got to be very careful. Yeah, stay about 1,000 range away. And Gudgeon is going to get another kill. Wow. And even Tinker is dying very quickly to him. Tinker has to teleport out of the way. And Gudgeon can clear out these towers pretty quickly, just with his weapons alone. 3,500 DPS. Not a small amount of hit points either. He has the 2 additional armor and like 18,000 total hit points. Devastator shot barely misses him. And trying to take a command post, just gets caught in a breaker. And yeah, Team 1 can, or Dark Force can really augment their position by getting factories. Alrion himself is going to build a factory. Can they clear this out before his teammates can come in? Gudgeon's there with the DPS they need. Another waste of gold out of Alrion. Hokuto can teleport out in a second, but he gets stunned in half a second. Hokuto is dead for 35 seconds now. Gudgeon going on Incognito right there. Does he have the teleport? Yes, he does. Let's see if he uses it. Use it, man. Oh, good play, Gudgeon. TheClumsyOne missing his orbital strike. And yeah, let's see if they can start killing factories. That will really put this game away. They still need to build factories of their own. That would really help. Gudgeon kills one more tower, takes a devastator shot, so he's gonna have to go back. Uses his power pack. He does have the ultimate pack, which helps him take this laser tower a little bit better. What's going on down here? Attempted offensive. 2 kills, actually. 3 kills. So they're going to take 1 command post back. Gudgeon's got to come back quickly. And then Tinker's going to work on this command post here. Gudgeon has so much DPS, he just can't run into all of them at the same time. Gudgeon with 2 kills. Gudgeon with 3 kills. And then Tinker dies as well. So what looked like to be a worthwhile offensive dies to Gudgeon again. Alrion doesn't even have any gold. He can get a second Swarm Rockets. An hour and 30 minutes into the game. And their creeps are getting even more augmented. We've got a Zeppelin with 2400, Zeppelin with 1400. They really need to take advantage of this double creep hit points and build 2 factories in the base and some factories outside of the base. They could even build the factories right here, get them a little bit closer to the enemy base, not be food capped so easily. Incognito with a big weapon. See, Incognito, does he have a factory? He has a factory. It's going to be 3 on 5 and Gudgeon's there. Gudgeon's going to break that offensive before it starts. Incognito doesn't have his teleport anymore. He gets a heal because he's a Titan. They're going to kill an erntspieler. Alrion dives out of the way of Gudgeon's prison of ice. Gudgeon almost has this laser tower down as well, which is the last laser tower before all of these factories are vulnerable. Devastator shot misses. Another Devastator shot misses. Who needs a teleporter? That Goliath Devastator shot seems to be a bit hard to hit one-on-one. It's better if you're in a team fight and you have multiple stuns, which is why 3 Goliaths isn't great. If they had 2 Infernals instead of 3 Goliaths, they'd be in a much better position. Or even just 1 Infernal. Have 1 Infernal drop, 2 Goliaths, hit the Devastator shot. They finally kill a Gudgeon. So maybe they can take this command post now. Or maybe not. Multiple stuns going on Incognito. Orbital strike as well. Incognito has to teleport out of the way. Does he have a Devastator shot? Nearly kills Jor. Jor's a little bit vulnerable. EMZE needs to share a bit of... Actually, no, that's his opponent. So we've got a 5-on-3. They can maybe take a command post soon. Gudgeon does respawn in 22 seconds. Erntspieler gets a kill, but he dies in return. And let's see if they can get a command post out of this. Gudgeon comes back in 4 seconds. And EMZE is going to deal a lot of damage to them. Tanker stopped in a breaker, dies. Gudgeon's going to get the kill on Alrion. EMZE with a lot of DPS himself. 4 pretty powerful weapons. You can get that into a power pack. 1 factory goes down. Jor's going to get hit with an orbital strike unless that was TheClumsyOne's. And let's see if Gudgeon can kill Incognito. Incognito teleports out of the way and heals. ShadowStorm, still no teleporter. Gudgeon's vulnerable. They get Gudgeon. Tanker dies for it. Gudgeon has earned the right to trash talk this game, indeed. Yeah, let's see if Jor can focus that obelisk on that factory. 2 factories down. 3rd factory taking damage from 2 obelisks. And it looks like people are getting factories now. Erntspieler with 2, EMZE with 1. They can continue to build. I don't know if it's capped for 3, or if they can build additional I know it's 3 in the base. Or max 6 in the base, 3 on the team. I forget how it works. Maybe they can only have 3. So, but they do have 3. So now factories are even, but they get an advantage in creeps. They're going to try to build this factory here. And then Alrion does get a bomb off, gets 2 kills, so they might actually take this. Jor tries to stall by building a laser tower for Gudgeon. Gudgeon's going to die. Erntspieler's might hold. They do have this, or where did the factory go? Looks like Tanker got a command post meanwhile. And they're going to get 2. Maybe. They've got 10 seconds before Jor comes back, so they can maybe, yeah. Erntspieler leaves the command post and Tanker captures it. So we're going to get 3 command posts back. Prolonging the game a little bit more. EMZE's got to be careful. He does have this command post he can go back to. Tanker does teleport in. They're going to get the kill on EMZE. Jor's going to have to respond to Incognito with that. Jor, Gudgeon, and Erntspieler are all there, as is the TheClumsyOne. Jor might die though. They do get the kill on Jor. Let's see if they can kill Gudgeon as well. Alrion with the 2nd build for the South team. Incognito tanking a lot of damage. and they're gonna kill Gudgeon. Incognito finally dies, and they might kill Ernstspieler here, despite Ernstspieler having the build. And right now, this Dark Force, what they need to do, let them have this command post. Oof, they're a long ways away from having their teammates back. Because right now what's been happening is they're only getting 2 or 3 in a fight at a time. So we've got Jor, we've got 3, we've got a 4v3. EMZE's got to save that ability for when those Goliaths are stacked up, otherwise they won't win that fight, and that's not what you want to have happen, because now EMZE is 44 seconds away from being in a fight again, and Alrion might be able to get a kill on these factories. He doesn't have his troop, or he just used his troop command. Okay, it's not going to go anywhere, and he doesn't have any DPS himself to do anything to follow up, so they can use the tech mech and repair that. Gudgeon's got to get into this fight quickly. Gudgeon does enter the fight. He's going to die. My goodness. Is that the last command post? And now all of a sudden we are in the opposite position, where the Light Force has all the command posts, and you can see they've quickly gotten one factory. Alrion using his cryosphere to deal some damage to that factory. His troops immediately get destroyed by EMZE. And let's see if they can put away this game. One factory's down. Gudgeon with the second supercell. Still only Frost though. Factory's dying. EMZE's factory is, yeah, it's going to go down. And then this is the last Light Force or Dark Force factory. One more mortar volley. Gudgeon with a couple of kills. Incognito, is he going to go down? Gudgeon with more kills. Gudgeon with a quadruple kill right there. And now let's see how much they can swing this in their favor. Gudgeon already moving on to the next command post. Let's see if they can. They need to use their tech mechs. Yep. Incognito comes in with the tech mech. Can it build before it dies? Incognito is going to lose that mech. They've still got 15 seconds. Gudgeon barely survives. He's got to go back and heal. So they do take back 3, but a bunch of their factories died in the meanwhile. That's not free. Sure, I wonder if he's planting an offensive breaker or something. Maybe he just misrallied it, or maybe Alrion preemptively built that. Jor can still plant a breaker, just offensively. That's always fun. 1-to-1 trade of command posts. The Light Force does retain this offensive command post, so let's see if they can deal any more damage to this Dark Force base here. Alrion's troops are still a ways away, and we've got an offensive here. Excellent orbital strike by Incognito, hitting all 3 of them. And then the cryosphere finishes off Ernstspieler. And Jor is going to die, the Clumsy One is going to die. This is a disastrous offensive. And that's going to guarantee that Tanker has time to destroy more of the base, though Tanker himself dies. Gudgeon finally has a big boy tank. It's a Titan with 2 supercells, so he is definitely very, very strong. Let's see if he can hold this command post by himself. In EMZE, there to defend. Can he get the kill on Incognito? EMZE has a powerful weapon himself, Darkness Cannon, though he did sell a poison magic to get that. That's not the best of upgrades. I probably would have saved up for a bit of a better weapon, even something like an Emerald Rod, which upgrades to a 3333 weapon, or 3,333. 33,333, sorry. And now that Gudgeon has a Titan, he'll be much less easy to focus down and kill, and he still has all the DPS he used to have. So let's see if they can swing that with Gudgeon here. Here comes Gudgeon, plant an obelisk. Gudgeon going after ShadowStorm, he's going to be able to get the kill, and the Clumsy One is there in the command post. 2 more down, and they've got a lot of time. They're going to get back Incognito soon, and Alrion a little bit, but Gudgeon's still trash talking, and they're going to come in and get 2 kills. The Clumsy One might die. Gudgeon's the one to survive in there. Good Q, EMZE. EMZE clears out the troops, and now Alrion is vulnerable. He doesn't have his troops for another 30 seconds. Who teleports in? ShadowStorm. Can he get the kill on Gudgeon? Gudgeon's the target right now. Get the Devastator rockets off. ShadowStorm dies. Tanker is quite vulnerable, as is Alrion. Jor's going to come in trying to get the kill. Let's see if Alrion can distract. He does have a photon bombs now, so he has actual DPS. And remember, they still can siege the space a little bit, though not with all their command posts gone. Did Alrion just heal Clumsy One there? Looks like he did. And then 2 Light Force tanks die, so that's going to open up some time for Dark Force to deal some real damage to the space. Get those last factories down, start killing the protective towers. Tanker trying to use the Negator pack to buy him some time to teleport out. Tanker with a Swarm of Chaos on the Goliath, which is a pretty long range tank. Pretty interesting right there. I don't think that is the play when you're Goliath, but Clumsy One hitting Incognito with the Orbital Strike, and then Gudgeon hitting Incognito with another Orbital Strike, and they get the kill on Incognito, the Titan. And now Tanker is dead, and factories are going down. Gudgeon is almost maxed out as a Titan. 3rd Supercell coming. EMZE nets Alrion and then Qs him, and then Jor finishes him off with the Orbital Strike. Jor's got to be careful, he just ran into a breaker, so Jor's probably going to die. He tries to use the Negator pack to buy him some time. They do get 2 kills out of that chase though, and Gudgeon's going to come in with 3 supercells. He can move out of the range of those towers though if he wanted to. Is the power pack? Not for a while, he just used it. 1 protective tower is down. Gudgeon can get out of there. No! He needed to teleport out quicker. And so he dies. Going back to heal is a lot quicker than dying and waiting a minute and like 15 seconds to revive. Gudgeon with 60 kills, 31 deaths. Heck of a game from him. 3 supercells, nearly a maxed out build. ShadowStorm finally does have a teleporter. EMZE's a little bit vulnerable. He teleports out. Maybe just got to regroup. Wait for Gudgeon. All the factories are down in the Light Force base except for one that Incognito built, and they only have one protective tower left with 40% health. As soon as that goes down, then the Dark Force creeps will start pushing. Remember, they can still build more factories down here, which would be worthwhile. And they can start killing this headquarters. And EMZE with a Storm of Chaos himself. Storm of Chaos is good on the Infernal, not good on the Goliath. Unless you're counting on constantly fighting in close range of Infernals. Three supercell upgrades. 7,000 DPS at 1050 range. You can see Tanker just go down, trying to kill the Gudgeon there. Even ShadowStorm almost died. Gudgeon took like 20% health right there. 20% damage, I mean. Jor is doing work on this last protective tower. See if you can plant an obelisk. Yeah, get that tech mech killed and start killing that tower. Incognito has a factory. He's going to teleport. Gudgeon's not the guy you want to be running into with that factory, though. And EMZE comes with a Storm of Chaos as well. No dice. Factory's down. They do get 2 kills. Dealing a lot of damage to Gudgeon there. Do they have a Devastator rocket? Gudgeon is so strong that he just killed ShadowStorm as he was trying to approach. And gets a hit kill on Hokuto. The Gudgeon does die again. Incognito and Jor just kind of, or Alrion, just kind of wandering around. They're trying to install this last protective tower, dying as much as possible. Alrion gets netted yet again, takes an orbital strike. Despite Tanker being there, he might die. Jor has to be careful. Teleport out. You have the teleport. So Alrion doesn't die, and Jor kind of dies needlessly there. So once again, this game gets prolonged. And they might take a command post right now. 3 people are there to respond. Can EMZE come in with his Storm of Chaos? Can they kill Alrion? No, they get killed. Gudgeon's 20 seconds away, as is Jor, so they're gonna conquer 1 control point. And my video max is out at 2 hours, so they gotta finish this game. Everybody puts in their tech mech, so they're gonna lose their tech mechs here. Where's Gudgeon? Getting a kill. If Gudgeon can build. And now Gudgeon's going to die as well. So let's see if they can take out this one. They can... yeah, I might have to go back in the replay and finish this commentary, because my video definitely maxes out. Alrion taking out these protective towers now. TheClumsyOne's going to teleport in on him. And where is Alrion? He has to get out of there. Jor teleports onto him. Alrion does have a lot of small teleports. One protective tower is almost down. Alrion, that would have been a very good time for a bomb, actually. Oh well. He doesn't have a bomb in his inventory and he's going to die. Oh, maybe he did try planting a bomb and it got killed. That makes sense. TheClumsyOne with 2 supercells of his own. Jor's the one who doesn't have that many weapons. Gudgeon is back online. So let's see if they can take back these last 2 command posts one more time and finish this game. Gudgeon plants the obelisk. He's got to be... he dies instantly. Got to be a little bit more careful than that. But they are going to get some kills anyway. And they'll take the last command post shortly. Just got to be careful that Incognito doesn't... yeah, they do build a teleport beacon just to prevent any tech mechs from building on there. TheClumsyOne with his kinetic shield still. Jor's going to die. Jor 50 seconds away. Gudgeon 40 seconds away. They do have some time right now. Does Alrion have a bomb? He doesn't, but he does have the advanced troops. Forces a Q out of EMZE. And Hokuto changes tank to a Titan from that Goliath. Wise move. Should have happened a lot earlier, but they now have 2 Titans. And they're both going to try to go against the TheClumsyOne here. TheClumsyOne does have the longer range. Actually, Hokuto has 2 supercells of his own. Alrion sieging the base some more, as is ShadowStorm. ShadowStorm kind of split up. Not going to be that useful there, but it looks like Tanker just took a command post. Alrion 3 seconds away from another troop spawn. He dies. Gets netted yet again. Aggression on this top command post. It's a 2-on-4, so it's not gonna hold, and in fact they've got to run back and be defensive. They've got 40 seconds before their next reinforcements come in, so they're gonna lose this command post unless we see some ridiculously horrible play, like everybody running into both the orbital strikes. Yeah, I'll start another video soon. Probably just maybe release them as part 1 and part 2. And all the control points are captured. And yeah, let's end the game. Come on, kill that protective tower, kill those headquarters. One last offensive. You have like 1 minute and 4 seconds right now before my video maxes out. Come on, guys. Otherwise, I'll have to make a part 2. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. We've got 50 more seconds, and they're going to let people respawn. That is true. Castle could go down pretty quickly, and you can see EMZE's building a bunch of towers here just to prevent anybody else from building on these slots. Lots of supercells from everybody. Surprised nobody got a Frost Laser. People didn't know that this game would go so long.